Any concerns surrounding the COVID vaccine rollout? But here's one you might not have thought about. Australians travelling to New Zealand getting the vaccine here because the wait time in Australia was too long. In other words, vaccine tourism. Could our rollout be undermined by Australians pouring into this country to get vaccinated? Zoom Health CEO David Taylor says this is a real possibility. I agree with him. He joins us now. G'day, good morning.
Hi.
What do you think?
I think there's a risk. I think it's a question of timing. If the vaccine is freely available in New Zealand before it's freely available in Australia, then it's likely that people with money, particularly the worried well, will jump on a plane and come across. And under the current sort of agreement between Australia and New Zealand, if they meet the criteria here in New Zealand, they will get a vaccine.
And what's the criteria? So the criteria for them is what, just to get here? Because the Australians aren't in any way blocked.
No, they're not. No. But we are we're rolling out tiers of vaccination. So at the moment we're going into tier 2, where you're looking at people who are at risk, particularly in South Auckland. But you're not going widely to the whole population yet. But at tier 3 and tier 4, you start widening it. And
yes, it's all in then, isn't it?
Yeah. And so once you hit tier 3, it's 65 and older. So the older Australians would be looking to come across if they're worried about not getting the jab in Australia. And then in July, we're supposed to have wide access to the vaccine. Whether that happens or not, I'm not sure.
Well, I wonder if we should encourage it. I'll flip it on its head for this reason. You get them here, you tell them to come for 2 weeks. Yeah, we'll come for 2 weeks. They spend a heap of money, and they get the jab as well.
Yeah, and the Maldives is doing that. So there are other countries who have seen that as an opportunity.
Do we have enough vaccines?
That's the question. And
can we go there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think that so it's a risk for both, but the scale of it will be modest. I don't think it's not a huge risk. I think, but what it does do is it points to the fact that if you have money, you get better access to healthcare.
Yes,
and I think that is the big concern with all of COVID. Really, I think that what COVID has done is it's laid bare the inadequacies of health in New Zealand.
How do you get around that? It's such a big question.
Yeah, and so the ministry is looking at it, the DHBs are looking at it, and they're putting in place plans for South Auckland, for argument's sake. But the plan is very much rooted in the historic approach to healthcare, which is I have a clinic or I have a pharmacy, you must come to us. Mm-hmm. And when there's so much fear in South Auckland around the vaccine anyway, particularly with AstraZeneca and the clots, I think there's a need to take the vaccine to the people, and I think that there needs to be a plan where the vaccine is actually taken to places where people are familiar and where they trust the people involved. Yeah, and so churches.
To their churches and to their local GP and to their sports club and things like that.
Yeah, correct.
Zoom Health CEO David Taylor, appreciate your time. Make a lot of sense.
You're welcome.